It took us 5 years to go from skinny to aesthetic, and we're gonna condense all of our fuck-ups and our entire journey into 5 minutes, starting with your first year, which is the foundation and the most important part of your journey. So to make it easy, we're gonna use the master method: mindset, adherence, strategy, training, eating, and refining. So we cannot build a house on a shaky foundation. That's why mindset is the first thing we need to get right. So you behind the screen right now need to adopt the identity of someone who just goes to the gym, not someone who's trying to go to the gym. They've even done studies on this with smokers. When offered a cigarette, the people who said, "I'm not a smoker," saw better results than the people that said, "I'm trying to quit." You also need to find enjoyment in the process, not the outcome. Everyone wants to build an aesthetic physique, but no one wants to do what's required to do it. If you can enjoy that process, that's when results happen. And then also just don't be gay, just do it, man. Seriously, just get in the fucking gym. Adherence, tracking apps. Use them simply because it gamifies the process, and 90% of dudes are video game addicts. So this essentially transfers that addiction to video games into gamifying your gym progress. The 2 tracking apps you need: Chronometer, track your food, try to hit your protein and your calorie targets. It feels like a video game. And also get the Strong app to track your lifts and making sure they're going up. Take measurements and photos, otherwise you're shooting in the dark. You don't even know what you're trying to improve. This also gamifies things, trying to improve your measurement. Next, we have S for strategy. Set a plan. If you do not plan, you plan to fail. Having a plan in place, like the Spartan protocol, will almost guarantee success. Choose a split that works for you. It's not so much what's the best split, but what split fits into your lifestyle the most and is sustainable for you to actually stick to. In terms of training, I would suggest at the start, frequency over volume. 3-day full body a week is about as simple as it gets, and it will get almost everyone good results. But the main thing is focusing on progressive overload, getting stronger so your muscles can adapt to the stimulus. Train hard as fuck. Especially at the start, you don't understand what training hard is. If you see the same guys in the gym year after year not progressing, it's because of these 2 things. It's because they're not trying as hard as they need to try, and they're not progressive overloading. And show up every single day without excuses. E is for eating. This is the backbone of your training. You need to eat right if you want to get big. This includes macro timing, meal prepping for the week, using a diet app with a plan, and eating whole foods to ensure you're not bulking too far, you're not getting too fat, and your health markers are genuinely just going to stay in the right place. Then we get into refining. After your first year, once you got newbie gains out of the tank, it's about assessing where you're at, your weak points, your strong points, and really building and shaping the physique that you want. A truly aesthetic physique is one that is proportionate in all areas. Then you can add targeted volume from that. You can work on your presentation and your image that we talk about in a lot of videos. You can really work on conditioning, and then we can get into other things like your skin, looks maxing, deep loading, to really squeeze all the juices out of the physique you're building to make sure you're actually getting the real world results that you wanted in the first place. And rapid fire round, these are the biggest fuck ups you will make in your training. Bad sleep. Anything under 7 hours, anything inconsistent will do a lot more damage than any of these variables, especially if you're natural and you need to keep your hormones in the right place. Poor consistency. Progress happens over consistent efforts, and it compounds. Going to the gym 1 week, not the next, then going back for 3 days, then quitting 3 days after that is the exact same as not going at all. You just wasted your time. Lazy tracking. I watched one of my mates track a burrito at 2,500 calories, and he didn't bat an eye. He thought there was just 2,500 calories in that burrito. Really educate yourself on what foods contain what, and don't skip out on things like the sauces, condiments, oils that you cook in. It can all add up. Don't go into a surplus that is excessive. There is no real benefit to going into a massive surplus, especially when you're natural. You're only going to gain fat that you have to strip off later. Losing too much size on a cut. If you cut wrong, or if you don't have enough size to actually go into a big cut, it is going to be very embarrassing. Being born with the wrong parents. If you do not have the best genetics, you're going to have to do a lot more to ensure that you're going to build a good physique. This was us. You will get there eventually, but we have to mention this. And then not focusing on the aesthetic muscles. Guys, if you're in the gym, deadlifting, breaking your back, doing things that aren't really serving you in the best way that you probably could be, but it's going to be a lot harder to build this aesthetic physique. And the final thing is not drinking enough water. 3-4 liters, blanket recommendation. Your body is mostly water. You need it for essentially every human function. And all of this massively depends on your starting point, your weak points, your strong points, and your current circumstances, which is why we highly recommend getting a physique analysis, and which is why we actually now include it in the school group, because that's the best way to get started on the right track. So if you join that school group, which is the first link in the description, you get a free physique analysis as well, where we will literally manually look at your physique, your weak points, your strong points, even body fat percentage, shoulder to waist ratio, everything you would ever need to know about your physique. This is something I wish I had available when I first started the gym. It simply just wasn't a thing. No one was offering it. And then you can use that information to apply it to all of the modules inside there. There's 17 plus modules, over 100 videos, literally the encyclopedia of training and aesthetics, to build the AAA physique in well under 5 years. It doesn't need to take as long as it took us, because we had to take this time to learn these things. You can also click that button up there to join today. It's 80% off, and it's just simply a no-brainer. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.